Meanwhile, on the ground in Ukraine, government officials there are asking allies for more air defense capabilities.
Yeah, they're also accusing Russia of holding civilians hostage, saying escaping the violence of this war is becoming harder and harder every day. Pix Marvin Scott is joining us now in studio with the latest. Marvin.
Corey, all of these punishing actions by the United States and the rest of the world they've taken so far, it has failed to stop Vladimir Putin's war, a war he had hoped to have won by now. Now, though his army has made some brutal advances, the overwhelming resistance by the Ukrainian fighters has slowed them down. The bombardment, though, continued today, and another ill-fated attempt to let innocent civilians safely evacuate.
The spokesman for the Russian Defense Ministry announcing another ceasefire for a number of humanitarian corridors to allow civilians to flee. But like a previous effort that failed, Ukraine accused Russia of shelling the very routes they said would be safe. Many of the evacuees running from Mariupol, a port city of almost 500,000 people that has endured relentless shelling. Bombed out of their homes, desperate residents have raided local stores for food. Russian bombs rained throughout the night on the northeastern city of Sumy. Residential areas were devastated, leaving at least 21 people dead, including 2 children. Rescue teams worked throughout the night to find survivors. And Russia released this video showing its attack helicopters carrying out low-level missions, knocking out Ukrainian tanks and armored vehicles. Refusing to go into hiding, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky videoed himself outside his office in Kyiv with a wink declaring, "We will win this war." Echoing the defiance of Winston Churchill, Zelensky received a standing ovation from the British Parliament during an impassioned appeal for help.
Ordinary Ukrainians are defending their homes and their families against a brutal assault. And they are, by their actions, inspiring millions by their courage and their devotion.
Ukraine says more than 20,000 foreigners have now volunteered to undergo training and join their fight.
For democracy.
And the heartbreaking magnitude of the war is reflected in the 2 million refugees fleeing to neighboring countries. Flowers were handed to women crossing the border into Poland. On this side of the border, no celebration of International Women's Day. The sounds of war replaced by the sound of heartbreak.
To be with little baby and run away from my family, from my husband, from my sister and parents, it's very hard because I'm alone here.
That anguish shared by so many others. In yet another blow to the Russian economy, these corporate companies are temporarily suspending business in Russia. McDonald's, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi vowing not to do any business in the Kremlin while the war rages on in Ukraine. McDonald's says it will continue to pay its 62,000 employees who had worked at its 850 stores in Russia. Corey?
All right, Marvin, thank you.